What's going on, YouTube? Appreciate y'all for tuning in. So, it has been reported that the Brooklyn Nets are unwilling to give Kyrie Irving a long-term contract extension. And the reason they're reportedly leaning towards that decision is because of his unwillingness to get vaccinated, causing him to miss over half the season, and his injury history. Now, to think that it has come to this is very, very this just came out of nowhere, right? In a nutshell, to pretty much say that the Brooklyn Nets season was a disappointment would be a massive understatement. Now, again, this is a team that entering the season was considered the title favorite. They were supposed to win it all in most people's opinion, including mine. But instead, they were swept in the first round of the playoffs by the Boston Celtics, leaving the Nets as the only team this postseason that hasn't won a single game. Think about that. A team led by the great Kevin Durant didn't win a single postseason game? Not even one? I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is the truth. Now, we can look at several reasons that played into this outcome, right? James Harden's forced trade to the 76ers that left the Nets down a star player because Ben Simmons didn't suit up for a single game this season. And that was due to mental health issues and back issues. So we'll give him a pass, right? But then there's the even bigger factor that Kyrie Irving played in just 29 games this season. Now, partly because of the New York City vaccines mandate, and also because the Nets' unwillingness to have him play in road games until January, right? And to Kevin Durant's defense, because obviously he has no blame in this, there was also the injury that he got where he injured his MCL and that forced him to miss over a month and a half of games. And before that, before Kevin Durant went down, the Brooklyn Nets were tied with the Miami Heat for the best record out east. So injuries aren't really things that you can control. And I mean, the Harden for Simmons swap was also something the Nets really couldn't control, given that Harden had a deep desire to play in Philly. And the Nets were not going to let him walk for nothing. I mean, that'd be the biggest stake, right? But at the end of the day, the biggest name in this whole entire situation is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie chose himself. Let's just call it what it is. He chose himself. He chose his own personal needs over the team. And that's what he did. Now, is that his right? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, there's always consequences to your actions, whether that be positive or negative. Kyrie signed with the Brooklyn Nets to play basketball. He signed that contract. He brought KD along with him, and they agreed to compete for championships. Multiple championships. And Kyrie Irving pretty much bailed on him in the organization. Now, can you imagine going to your boss, right? Let's say you're at your job. Can you imagine going to your boss and saying, "Oh, I'm going to take this time off," or "My job isn't as there are more important things in my job." Kyrie Irving's whole thing was that there are much more important things in basketball. And when you look at that from a fundamental humanitarian standpoint, of course, basketball isn't the end all be all. But at the end of the day, Kyrie Irving signed a contract for multi-million dollars to play with the Brooklyn Nets. And he bailed on the organization. And now it looks like that is coming to bite him in the butt, right? And it's crazy because just a year ago, prior to this season, I remember Nets GM Sean Marks was saying how he was confident that Kyrie Irving would sign an extension before training camp. Boy, did that shit change real quick, because it seems like Sean Marks isn't willing to make the investment. But given his refusal to get vaccinated, Kyrie Irving, and his injury history overall, I mean, it's not surprising that Brooklyn is taking a more cautious approach with the All-Star guard going forward. So, as Brooklyn looks towards the offseason, one of the biggest things it may be looking to change is Irving's long-term status with the team. Now, Kyrie has I think it's a $36.5 million player option that he can decline this summer and become an unrestricted free agent, which there are reports that he's leaning towards that option. But even though he said on multiple occasions that he wants to stay in Brooklyn, it looks like the Nets may not feel the same. And to be honest, there's no one to blame but Kyrie Irving. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.